asked most of you to tell me what a fairy tale was, you'd probably tell me something like far-off places, sword fights, a prince in disguise. Basically, you tell me Disney. Disney is basically where we get all of our fairy tales from today. They're the modern fairy tale tellers. But I'm not here to talk about wishing upon stars or dreams coming true. I'm here to talk about the truth. The grim truth of fairy tales. Most of the fairy tales you know and love, you don't know at all. For instance, in Ariel's story, she doesn't get the prince. When he marries someone else, she commits suicide. Princess Aurora was not wakened by true love's kiss. She was raped and woken to the pains of childbirthing and 2 other kids that she already had. Belle had sisters, and they were jealous of her relationship with the beast, and so they tried to get him to kill her so that maybe one of them could take her place. Cinderella's, her stepsisters cut off pieces of their foot to try to fit into the shoe to marry the prince. When Cinderella married the prince, and they tried to stop it, birds pecked out their eyes. In one of the other stories commonly told as Grimm's Brothers fairy tale in Germany, it's called When Children Play at Butcher. And it's about these 2 little boys, and one boy is pretending to be a butcher, and the other boy is pretending to be a pig. And the boy who's pretending to be a butcher cuts off the head of the boy pretending to be a pig. The mother, in hysteria, stabs the other little boy. And while this is going on, her youngest son drowns in the tub. She then, of course, commits suicide because of grief. And when the father comes home, he dies soon after from a broken heart. Clearly, very grotesque. Now, because of this grotesqueness, some people wonder if it's even appropriate to read the stories, especially to younger children. Well, in the case, especially to younger children, I think it is, because they miss it. How many of you watched Shrek when you were younger? It wasn't until much recently that you realized just how many innuendos there are in that movie. As a camp counselor, we sing a song called The Cannibal King. And in this song, there's the story about this man who's a cannibal king who marries this young lady. They have kids, and their kids have kids. And then he eats them all. Now, this camp service has girls from around 5 to around 16. Well, when the older girls figured out that he had eaten them, they added another verse where he actually eats them in the song. And the little girls, poor little girls, just went ballistic when they realized what was happening. We had to make them not do that anymore. The thing about, and because there's so much of this type of violence, they're also worried that it will have negative effects on the children and make them become violent in the future. I think this is preposterous. There's a group called Christians Against Dinosaurs, and their stance is that not only do dinosaurs not exist, but the idea of dinosaurs causes violence. Now, most of the dinosaurs I can think of are herbivores. The only truly violent dinosaur I can think of is the T-Rex, whose reputation is no worse than that of our modern idea of a shark. The point is that these things won't cause violence, just the image of it. And one of the other things that they say is that because they show such a stark difference in good and evil, and there's such a clarity between them, that it will affect the child's ability to see empathy, because there's no middle ground. Well, that's kind of what we're built on. As Americans, we're built on good versus evil. It's our favorite kind. Star Wars, for example, and superheroes. Good versus evil. Now, this isn't something that's going to cause a lack of empathy. This is an ideal we build on forever. It's our modern society. Now, some people would say that they're not worth reading, that you have the basics. And to some extent, that's kind of fair to say. It's all over the media. Half the books these days are written about fairy tales, right? Let's talk about the TV shows Once Upon a Time, and also The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which isn't a fairy tale but falls into the same realm that we're going to connect it to. Well, the Grimm brothers' writing should be memorized. They were the original dark romantics of the 1800s. To say that I don't need to know anything about them means that I don't need to know anything about, say, Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe. They're just some old dead guys, right? But these guys created art. They're originally from Germany. They are, again, the original dark romantics. And they're important to us. And I think that it would be a shame that if we overlook them for some petty reasons. Thank you.